Anime doesn't really respect women. Mostly. Now, for some background, I am someone who used to watch a lot of anime. I do enjoy the medium and think that it's one of the most visually striking, but most anime simply does not have respect for women. The reason I say most is because there are some that treat their female characters with respect, like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Delicious in Dungeon, and Ghibli films. Now, when I say do not treat the women with respect, I simply mean the unnecessary sexualization of the women. I think in storytelling, it is not always a bad thing to sexualize a character, but on the whole, I do think anime tends to sexualize women for no particular reason. A good example of a character being sexualized serving the story is Black Widow in the movie Iron Man 2. A big part of her early characterization is that she will use everything she can to get an advantage in every situation. This does include sensuality. Sexualizing her reveals something about her character in the story, and her willingness to be whatever Tony wants for most of the movie contrasts nicely with Pepper, who outright refuses to be what he wants. This serves a purpose to the story and to the character arc Tony is going on this movie. An example where sexualization had no reason to be there was the character of Tamaki in the show Fire Force. I was really enjoying the show, but I had to drop it because of this character. She's fairly regularly stripped down to just her underwear, if not completely naked, and for no story reason. Yes, I know she has a curse, but it's just an excuse to put a young, naked girl in front of the audience. This curse actively gets in the way of other aspects of her character that make her endearing or even competent. I can think of no better example of this than when I was researching for this video. I was glancing through the Fire Force wiki, and under personality, there's actually just a picture of her naked. I feel like that says all it needs to. For those who want to use the excuse that it is a different culture, I'm just going to go for the throat on this one. Just because it is a different culture doesn't make it less wrong. Some parts of early American culture saw slavery as a good thing, so much so they were willing to fight a war. Aztec culture saw that sacrificing babies was okay. And because it's the obvious one, Nazi Germany said that it was okay to genocide an entire race of people. Just because it's part of somebody's culture does not make it right. I'm not saying that this is as bad as Nazi Germany. I'm taking my argument to its logical extreme to prove a point. For those who say that's just anime, I present to you Studio Ghibli. They have a track record of treating all of their characters in all of their movies with such immense respect, regardless of any aspect of their character, gender included. But that is an example that's primarily directed at kids, so there's not going to be much sexualization regardless. So, I'll present a different example. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Not only is it a great story in its own right, it has some of the best characters in all of anime. I would argue in all of storytelling. I'm currently doing my yearly rewatch of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and the way it treats all of its characters, especially the women, is shocking compared to what I've seen in other anime and in modern Hollywood. The women there are treated like true characters and like women. There isn't this Hollywood-esque, the women have to be as masculine as possible, and there isn't this anime perspective of, if we're not showing a scantily clad girl every 5 minutes, the audience will stop paying attention. Truly, all of the women in this show are amazing. There's Riza Hawkeye showing loyalty to Roy Mustang throughout the show. There's Izumi Curtis, who shows strength without sacrificing vulnerability with her husband. There's Granny Rockbell, showing kindness and motherly instinct, taking care of 3 different orphans as her own kids. And most importantly, none of these characters are needlessly sexualized in any way. And that's just 3 of the women in the show. They're all treated with such respect. The people who made this show and the woman who wrote this manga knew how to make women attractive without just removing clothes. That's something that I believe is severely lacking in anime. They also all show one strength that women specialize in that I feel Hollywood has forgotten about. Compassion. But that's a video for another time. We'll get to that later. Anime has earned a reputation of being perverted, and that's for a good reason. These values actually come completely from the Bible, which I will stand by till the day I die, or more accurately, till the day I go with Jesus. I simply believe we should call our entertainment to a higher standard. And I want to say this for those who enjoy all the needless sexualization of women in anime. I think it's time to get some space from the medium and explicit content in general. It's something that will not serve you, and it will actually harm you mentally and spiritually. I'd say this from experience, and I say this out of love. I don't want anyone to be where I was. All that being said, I do enjoy the medium of anime and animation as a whole, but I'm a lot more selective with what I allow myself to watch now. I want my entertainment to have something important to say. I want my entertainment to promote good values, not just what political belief is the most popular currently. And I want my entertainment to point me towards biblical values, not towards lust or lustful thoughts. I'm not saying I need everything I watch or read to be explicitly about Jesus. I don't want my entertainment to be a sermon. What I am saying is that I want the stuff I read and watch to point me towards Jesus. A good example of this is in the movie How to Train Your Dragon 2. When Stoic sees his long-lost wife for the first time, he is not angry, he is not resentful. His first response is love, and it is forgiveness. That is what I mean when I say I want to see biblical values in the entertainment I enjoy. But that's all I really have for this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you getting this far. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.